We could start.
Okay, let's do it. Let's start it.
Yeah, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Huntsville, Alabama. We are the Huntsville Comic and Toy Expo. I'm here with a dear friend of mine that I met in Birmingham a couple years ago. Hello, what's up? Katy,
Hi.
a.k.a. KaniDay.
It's me.
A.k.a. Do we give you a real name?
Yeah, it's Katy.
Katy. Okay,
Yes.
What's up, Katy?
And also I have my amazing friend Jordan here on a phone. If you want to say hi.
How you doing? Hi! Booyah! I'm the token black friend.
Oh my god.
Hi, I'm Jordan. Thank you for having me on.
Thank you for having Jordan on his podcast.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Yeah, Jordan is sadly not here with me and Ming right now, but
I know where I know you're in Maryland, Jordan, but where exactly? I used to live out there too. Where in Maryland are you?
I live around Arundel Mills.
Oh, okay, cool.
That's where I live.
Yeah,
It's like really chill over here.
There's Katy. There's a casino over there. You could lose your shirt over at the Arundel Mills Casino.
Dude, I will make all of the money and then I will spend it on Bookers and Lears.
Yeah, so
That's a word.
Yeah, no one's gonna care about this. You live right off of Route 100. All right, I'm familiar with the area, sir.
Yes. But yeah, today we're just essentially hanging out at the convention, and I thought, oh, hey, Ming does this amazing podcast called the Shared Universe Podcast.
Yes, very good.
And he's been giving me a lot of awesome advice about podcasting, so I thought, why don't we bring him on the Weird Flex But Okay podcast and just do some talking? Yeah.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah, exactly. Awesome.
Yes, and Jordan's in the middle of watching Naruto, and I've interrupted and forced him to be on his podcast early.
Well, technically I was watching Boruto's dad, but okay.
This is true.
Like, I thought I was watching Naruto's son. That's a lie. I was watching Naruto's son, so yeah, but I'm sorry.
Yes, so we might not have Jordan for this whole little spiel right here, but I will keep him on this phone, gosh dang it, because it's fun and it's funny.
Yeah, I'm grateful to be here. Anything for Katy and friends.
Yay!
I love that we just sprang this on him. I was like, hey man, we're podcasting.
Dude, we're doing it right now. Do you want to be on your podcast? And he's like, what? I'm watching Boruto's dad.
Yeah.
But yeah, Ming, why don't you tell them a little bit about what you do?
All right, so my name is Ming Chen. I know you guys are big in the kind of the anime cosplay world.
Yeah.
So you may or may not know who I am, which is completely great and awesome. I'm Katy's friend first and foremost.
Oh, yay!
However,
Friendship is magic.
Yeah. I've been working with Kevin Smith for over 20 years. Kevin Smith, the filmmaker, Clerks, Mallrats, Chasing Amy, Jane and Bob, Dog Bub, lots of other crazy things. I started out working on his website, set up his online store. I was kind of like the social media manager before there was any social media. That was part of my job. And then we transitioned into podcasting. Kevin got really big into podcasting. He is a guy who figured out how to make money at it.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is pretty awesome. And as a result, he got us into it. And then we kind of turned podcasting. We got a TV show, kind of based on what we did. Podcasting,
where they were a bunch of comic book men.
Yeah, we're a bunch of comic men. I was on a TV show called AMC's Comic Book Men, which aired after The Walking Dead for 7 seasons. And then when that ended last year, me and one of the other guys on the show, Mike Zapsik, were like, "Hey man, like, what are we gonna do now?" And he's like, "Well, we love podcasting. We've been doing it for at the time we'd been doing it for about 7 years." It's like, why don't we were kind of like, how we love this so much and. Because we love this so much, like, I think other people would love this a lot too. And why don't we like spread that love and show them how much fun this is and how much how much they could love it as well.
Yeah.
So, and we would also get stopped at Comic-Cons too by people who's like, "Hey man, I love the TV show, but I really love your podcast.
Yeah.
How do I want to start my own? How?" And we would give them like a quick 10-minute lesson. It wasn't too deep, but I would, it's hard to teach someone how to podcast in 10 minutes.
Yeah, exactly. There's so many little details that go into it. Like with me and Jordan's podcast, we're on our 11th or 12th episode or something. Like,
congratulations.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, technically, we were on our 12th or something like that. or something. Was it like? Cause didn't we mess up the first episode?
Oh
Like,
yeah, we the first time we recorded our podcast, we like the audio was not very good. Like we didn't do proper mic tests, I guess, and it was all like echoey, and so we had to scrap it.
Okay,
and,
which stinks because that's great content. You never want to lose an episode ever.
But at the same time, we learned from it, and we like reached out to people that knew like other information that had been doing stuff before us, and we were able to learn from them. And that's like the thing about any creative stuff that you do is if you can find people that know more than you do, which there are a lot of, so many people know so much more than you do, and you learn from them and allow yourself to learn from them, that's how you get good at stuff. And sometimes you're going to make mistakes. Yeah. And sometimes you're going to end up recording in person with somebody on a phone.
Yeah, it happens.
You're right.
You're right.
Yeah, exactly. So, so thanks for joining us, Jordan. Like unexpectedly.
Yes, thank you.
I'm thankful to be here.
Yes. Oh man, yeah. I actually wanted to ask, like, what were some tips that you had for people getting into podcasting?
So I was like, all right, when you don't need to start out with expensive gear. That was one of the main questions. Like, oh man, this guy came up to me. He was like, man, I've been thinking about starting a podcast, but I talked to some dude, and he was like, hey, you need a minimum of $5,000 to buy the gear to start a podcast. I'm like, what?
Oh my!
And based on that alone, I'm like, that's some misinformation there. Like, if you told people that, of course they wouldn't want to start because that's a lot of money for to make an audio podcast.
Yeah.
I'm like, no. You know what you need? You don't need anything. And I pulled out my smartphone. And I'm like, do you have one of these? Like, yeah. I'm like, there's a voice recorder app that comes free with every smartphone, which picks up really well. And you can podcast on it. Yeah. And I've used it at conventions to interview people in a pinch.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, if I was just given a last minute opportunity to interview somebody, I'm like, I need an audio file that I can edit into a podcast. Or just pull out the voice recorder. Just make sure the mic was close. I'd have to kind of go back and forth.
Yeah.
But I was like, hey, if you were just kind of thinking casually about starting a podcast, record one on your phone using the voice memos app. If you decide you're serious after the first couple episodes, then you can go out and buy the gear. And that was my first advice. Like, don't make a huge investment.
Yeah, for sure.
First,
were you gonna say something, Jordan?
No, I was just listening. I was just nodding my head.
Oh, yeah. I definitely agree 100% with Ming. Honestly, the equipment that I have at my place is like a less than $200 mic, and it picks up pretty well. I've talked to people that film or they record for their podcast in different ways.
Right.
They use maybe like Streamlab or whatever it is to to film. It might be called Streamlab. I know that Jordan's friend Paleo and them for their podcast, they use something interesting. But I've also heard people.
OBS.
Yeah.
OBS.
Studios.
Okay. Yeah. And then I've heard people use just the Discord audio because apparently you can record in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like me and Jordan, when we record ours, we just use Discord to talk, but we put our headphones in so we can hear each other. Yep. But we record separately with Audacity, and then I edit the files together. Yeah. So you can do it like real cheap on a budget. Audacity is free. If you can get, honestly, a good like USB or XLR mic on Amazon for like $100-something bucks, like that's not crazy. I mean, you can do the phone too, but if you want like, if you're going into other type of audio stuff, it's like an okay place to start, like $50 to $100.
I love hearing you whip out these terms, like US XLR, you get some XLR mics, man. And
I don't know crazy stuff about
mics,
it's
great.
But I know some terms, I guess. I'm trying to get better, but I definitely have a lot left to learn. Yeah, but honestly, it's so easy to budget for it. Like when it comes to like voiceover or any type of audio-based project, you can get like a pretty good sounding mic on Amazon for $50 to $100.
Oh God,
Or you can use your phone. Like
the one you're using now was on sale, $34.99. The Shure SM48 is a great vocal handheld microphone.
Yeah.
Which I use for travel. I was able to carry all this. I didn't even check my bags coming down here.
Yeah.
I was able to pack all this gear.
That's amazing.
Which is into carry-ons. So
yeah, for anybody listening right now, we are currently in a restaurant in Huntsville, sitting at like a table.
The Embassy Suites.
The Embassy Suites in the like restaurant section, and he has like his laptop out. We have like two little handheld mics, and we're just sitting here talking and have
podcasting,
Jordan.
Man.
We're podcasting. You can do it anywhere. Like, that's the beauty of it. Yes.
Yeah, I'm in the bathtub watching anime. They called me. So there you go.
Yeah, I was just like, hey, Jordan, randomly, I'm going to call you, and we're doing a thing if you want to do it. And he was like, oh, Okay.
She calls me like out of nowhere. She's always like calling me like just like randomly at times, and I'm just like, okay, what's up, Katy? Hey, Jack, Jordan, whatever. You want to talk about anime at like 2 a.m. in the morning? And
Oh
I'm
my
like,
God.
Yeah, sure, I'll wait
Dude,
for you.
the other day I called Jordan. I had finished volume 59 of One Piece, and I just called him at 2 a.m. and we just talked for like 3 hours about One Piece.
I
And
saw the sun come up. I was like, oh crap.
It was like, oh no, what have we done? We should have been filming that.
Oh God, you should have. Yeah.
That was beautiful.
It was hilarious. We talked. Oh my God, I know. Jordan texted me the next day, like, "Did we talk about One Piece and like other stuff last night?" And I was like, "Yes, we did, Jordan." It was amazing. Like, oh man.
Oh
Like, it's also one thing that's important about podcasting is finding people that you just vibe with.
Oh,
like,
that's very. Yeah, that was one of the. That was one of our piece of advice. I need a co-host. I need someone to talk to, either guest or co-host. I could never do it by myself. There's a small percentage of the population who love to hear themselves talk.
Yeah.
And they could do a whole hour, 45-minute podcast by themselves. I could never do that. I can't even stand myself for that long. So I was like, all right, so you probably want a co-host. Find one that is as dedicated as you are.
Yeah.
You don't want anyone, 3 weeks in going, oh, I can't record this week. My girlfriend needs me. I have to walk the dog. Work has really backed me up. Whatever.
Yeah.
It's I believe probably statistically that's probably the number one killer of podcasts is flaky co-hosts. So.
Yeah, for sure. And like it does take some commitment when you're like a small team, and like especially when you don't have like a lot of resources. Like for example, for the editing, for like just getting it all together, writing all the blurbs, like the processing, the rendering. Like especially for when I try to get it up on our YouTube channel, I have to render it into video form.
Right, and then you put it up.
And then I have to wait for it to render onto the YouTube channel. So it's like, oh my gosh, Ming's taking a picture. Yay, pictures.
Oh, gotta do that.
We're doing it live, man. We're doing it live.
Gotta document this for sure.
We're doing it live.
Yeah.
But yeah, so there's a lot of little pieces that go into it, and just making sure that you understand, like, there's going to be like some worky bits with it, but it's usually worth it. And if you go at your own pace, like when me and Jordan started, I had originally suggested we could do it like once a month so that nobody's feeling like burdened to like have to constantly give their time.
Man.
Yeah, but it was such a long gap. Me and Jordan were like, well, we can try it once a week, see how it goes. If it feels like too much, then we can spread it out. And that's okay if you do that. There's some podcasts that they wait a little bit.
Right.
And it's all about going at your own pace and what feels good for you so you don't feel overwhelmed, because it's supposed to be fun first.
Yeah. But even I think I tell people, most people are used to the once a week schedule.
Yes.
Remember back in the day, before all this Netflix and streaming services, your favorite TV show would come on once a week.
Yeah.
And I think we all got used to that, even though traditionally, you can get it all at once now.
Yeah.
And, that's fun and all, binge watching. We all love that.
And I definitely support that. If you want to go to our Weird Flex But Okay podcast YouTube channel, I've made a playlist of every episode.
Nice.
And you can also find them on SoundCloud and iTunes, which,
nice.
What platforms do you guys have yours on?
We're all on SoundCloud.
Okay.
Yeah, SoundCloud's great.
Yes.
It's a flat rate per month. No matter, you can upload one episode or a million episodes.
Yes.
It all costs the same. It connects to iTunes very easily. Mm-hmm. And what I love is you can spread your feed out to multiple sources: Spotify, Pandora, Google Play, TuneIn, Stitcher, multiple other ones. So with SoundCloud, once you upload one file once and you throw a little description on there, it pops up on everything else. So it's a one-step process to get your new episodes up. And it's just nice and easy.
Yeah.
It's fast.
Yeah.
It's been it's been great. The only drawback, if there was one about SoundCloud, is every week you read a story about how they're going to go out of business.
Yeah, I have seen some of that, which is why we have like a YouTube channel for ours, just so we can make sure we always have like a stockpile of it.
I'm not that worried.
Yeah, I guess that's fair.
I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not that worried. I think, they've always been able to find some funding to keep it going.
Yeah, that is true.
Not, and the news is trying to scare you. It's not like, oh my God, it's all over if we don't get...
But there are also a lot of viewers that, like, sometimes they're just used to YouTube or they're used to whatever. Like, because 1 minute people are recommending iTunes, then the next it's like, oh, Spotify. I only use Spotify. If it's on iTunes, I don't care. Yeah. Like, people can be like that. So it's like making diverse...
You know what you do? Put on all of them.
Yes. Yep. Yes.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh man. Yeah, Jordan's just like, yeah.
Yeah, but
It's just like you can't lose if you put it everywhere.
Yes.
It's just like, hey, you can listen to to it whenever you want. You can go on YouTube. If you have the iTunes thing, which is really good, you can like just listen to SoundCloud. Like SoundCloud's how I pretty much listen to it most of the time. Though YouTube is like pretty cool. Like it's just like a pretty. I just have it on in the background and playing and stuff like that. And then like we might have one of those things where I could just edit some clips later on of like various things to go along with our stories, or get like a person who animates to like animate one of our things or something like that. Just like that'd be awesome.
Yes, that would be so cool. Like there's a lot of podcasts, I don't know if you know, they get like fans that animate segments of them talking when they tell stories. Yeah. And those are really cool. Like,
have you been animated yet?
No. We have had some quote unquote fan art, which is like a meme where somebody drew us as a fan. Like they drew Jordan as a fan, but they did have like my name in like one of the fans. And it was funny. Yeah. Like one thing that I love to listen to are Dungeons and Dragons podcasts. Okay. Which can be like 3 to 4 hours long.
Right, because they're actually playing a campaign.
Yeah, they're actually like live doing a campaign. Yeah. And then they edit it together. So you're just listening to like an audiobook of an adventure. Right. And there's so many animations out there. And actually, Critical Role, I don't know. Right. I'm sure who hasn't seen it, of course. They just reached like, 5 million?
Something like that.
Like it was like 2 million in the first like 8 hours, which is crazy in itself.
Yeah, I mean, they got a little star power.
Of course, naturally. But it's still like setting a very interesting precedent for like the podcast medium for sure. Because a lot of people are going to probably take them more seriously. I mean, it's been building to be taken seriously, but it's interesting. It's crazy how much it's grown in such a short amount of time.
I do it for fun, man. Yeah. I want to spread. I really think this is so much fun. Yeah. It's one of the funnest things that I've ever done. Mm-hmm. I've gotten in, as most people do, and especially us as fans, we've gotten into things and then we fall out of them. Yeah. But I think there's something in the last 10 years that I've never lost my love for.
Yeah, because all that podcasting is, at least for me, and I'm sure for you too, and maybe for Jordan, we will see. It's just about like building chemistry with somebody, and you just talk. Yeah. Like it's not necessarily scripted. You can have like a blueprint of where it's going to go, like topics you can talk about.
Sure, you do segments, you can take viewer feedback. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of cool things
like,
you can
there's nothing better than just having like an engaging conversation with someone that understands you or just understands what you love. And when you can... Yes, more chemistry than a science class or something.
Yes. We're going to make shirts of that.
We'll make shirts. Maybe one day we'll have merch. We'll see.
I like that saying.
Yeah, it's like Jordan says it all the time, and it's like, aw, it feels like Miss Frizzle's going to show up any minute now. Yeah. Like, copyright us.
Podcast via Discord to connect yourself together, and then you record the audio.
Separately,
You're in Birmingham, Alabama.
Yes.
And Jordan's in the Maryland, D.C. area.
Yeah.
So you guys haven't done this live yet together?
We've only done it together once. He was visiting when I was graduating from college. Okay. And he came and stayed with me. Yeah. Yes, it was awesome. And he got Whataburger. Well, we got Whataburger. And it was amazing. So Whataburger is so much better than In-N-Out. It's
it's blasphemy, but
I
say it's apples and oranges. I'm apples and oranges, but
I guess that's fair. But
because you were in LA you were in Burbank for a little bit, right?
I was in. I visited there a few times, and I tried In-N-Out, and their fries are just, but their burger was really good. It's
great.
Yeah, I will agree.
Good, but Shake Shack's better.
Ooh, I haven't tried Shake Shack.
Shake Shack's good.
Jordan just said, I can't tell if the phone audio is coming through. I hope it is. But
it is.
It's like Shake Shack is like, it's like who said it? Freaking Neil deGrasse Tyson. He's like, In-N-Out is like a good burger that's made fast, but then Shake Shack is a burger made by a master chef. And it's just like, snap, like they actually took the time to make it. I was like, oh, snap, this is really good. So that's what I'm saying.
I'm very tempted to try their shakes.
Neil deGrasse Tyson said that?
Wait, Neil deGrasse Tyson said that?
Yeah, he did. He was on Hot Ones. You know that Hot Wings thing?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was on that Hot Wings thing. And he was talking about like how he wanted to be transported when he bit into In-N-Out. And then he was like, oh, yeah, it was just like it was a decent burger, but it wasn't like mind-blowing. And that's how I felt like when I was there just eating it. It was like, it was a good burger, but it wasn't like, oh my God, I'm not transported like Ratatouille.
Yeah.
Oh, I disagree. My mind just goes into different, like just a different state when I'm eating.
Have you actually heard of Hot Ones? Like, do you know what he's talking about?
No, I gotta check this out though.
Yeah, it's a YouTube channel where people, like they bring on celebrities from all forms of media and entertainment, and they have hot sauce.
Right.
I think.
Love hot sauce.
Yeah, and so they.
Chicken wings.
Yeah, they eat hot chicken wings at different levels of spiciness.
Okay, and then they ask them questions.
Yeah, and like so they have to see how much they can tolerate of the spiciness.
So I would have to eat like nuclear,
yeah, eventually.
Like 911 wings, and like humana.
Yeah, and so sometimes they'll be nice, and you don't have to eat the hottest if you don't want to, but everybody's usually like, I ain't no bitch, I want to do it, and so they end up.
Okay, and they end up like going to the hospital. Like
maybe not the hospital, but like
acid burn.
You get put on like this wall of shame.
Yeah.
Oh, if you don't finish?
Yeah.
Like few people like Ricky Gervais or like Little Yachty or something like that, where they're just like, no, this is ridiculous. I ain't doing it. And then they get put on. They have like this whole dramatic thing pop out like the wall of shame. But there's like some people who just like go through it and just like, yeah, I did it. I did it without water or milk, and it's like the hottest like 2 billion mobile units or something.
Yeah, like a lot of those food challenge things are really popular. Do you watch a lot of like new media, like YouTube?
I do not as much as I'm old, dude. I'm literally.
We're all getting there.
I think
Jordan says he feels you.
Yeah, no, I'm old. Like I learned how old. Well, I knew how old you were, although I was under by a couple years.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, yeah, I'm old too.
Yeah, he was like, oh, you're like 21, right? And I was like, oh, you sweet soul.
Yeah.
No, I'm 23. I'm making my way downtown. I'm walking fast. Faces past.
Don't. You don't need to walk fast. Life goes.
Yeah,
very
you're
fast.
right. I'm just taking it one day at a time. Podcasting 1 week at a time. Eating donuts 1 month at a time. Maybe 2.
Yeah, but I'm glad you guys got into a once a week schedule. I think. And your numbers are huge.
We're making it
someone
happen.
who's just started out. So.
Yeah. Like honestly.
Where's your audience coming from?
Probably.
I want some of that, man.
Oh my gosh. Well, I know when me and Jordan started, Jordan is like a YouTuber and he does a lot of online content. Yeah. So naturally, we have, he has like 3 other podcasts that he's on too.
Okay, so he was able to cross promote.
Yeah, probably, yeah. Like not probably. It's definitely like when he posted in like the community tab, people are like, oh my gosh, there's the podcast and stuff. And so like we both just share it around and like he's got like a really big reach. So it was like, oh, that's really cool.
That's awesome.
Like, yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, it's really awesome that like a lot of people are getting to see it. But even if we only like got like maybe 200 to 300 people or even less, it's like the fact that I get to do this every week with my friend Jordan. Yeah. Like one thing that I really wanted to do when I was when I suggested to Jordan like, hey, I want to do a podcast. I thought about doing one before, but I'd never like had the right circumstances come up. One, I didn't feel qualified. I didn't feel like there was anybody that cared what I said.
Right.
And then
that's one thing that holds people back. It's absolutely not true.
But. And then I was like, oh, but how would I even do it? Who would I do it with? Because I knew I wanted somebody to do it with, and I needed somebody that like I had the chemistry with, and like we could just go back and forth, and somebody that kind of knew some stuff about like entertainment. Right. Because like there's something fun when you're 2 people that like kind of work in that kind of stuff.
Oh god, it's
like
great.
That energy that you get from
I always
people
tell people
like that.
As pop culture fans, as geeks, what's our biggest weapon is our opinion. It's the only weapon we have most of the time.
So somebody that like I had that chemistry with, that I could just talk about nerdy shit for like hours. And when me and Jordan would get together, in the short amount of time we've known each other, we would have hour-long conversations. And I was like, I love podcasts. I would love to start something like this. So I suggested
why aren't we recording this?
Yeah, and he was like, I'm in. And I was like, cool, let's make it happen. And even if it like had to end tomorrow, just having the backlog of it, sometimes I just listen to the episodes when I'm feeling down or when I feel like...
I got bad news for you then, Katy.
Oh no, Jordan, no, don't die.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
But yeah, that was kind of like some of the motivations there. Jordan, what made you agree to do this podcast with me?
Man, I was like, oh, this random hot chick that looks like Wendy's is like, dude, I want to do a podcast. And I was like, fuck yeah, bro.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
I imagine you don't hear the words no very often.
I've definitely heard a lot of no's. Or they either ghost me or it's a no. Especially, I audition a lot for a lot of
okay. But I mean, like, in just general in life, though. I was like, I
don't ask for a lot, I guess. I don't put myself in a lot of situations where I ask for something where I feel like it wouldn't happen, I guess. But there are situations where if I asked, I would definitely get a no.
You're young. You'll learn.
Yeah.
Use the power, my friend.
No, I mean, because I'm usually like like I said, like one of the reasons I didn't start or didn't think about doing a podcast sooner because I was like, nobody would care. Nobody would this or that. And so a lot of the times I do hold myself back from asking for opportunities that I might get a yes for out of the fear of a no. But I've definitely heard a lot of no's in my acting career.
Do you want my favorite quote of all time?
Yes.
If you never ask, the answer is always no.
This is true, and I've been trying to apply it more, but like
you're young, you'll get it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Use the power. Use like the Force. It's like the Jedi mind trick.
Because like one thing I would never want is for somebody to feel like, I don't know, like uncomfortable or like, whoa, why are you trying to do this thing? Like, I don't know. I overanalyze.
Don't.
Katie, why are you talking to me all time?
I don't know. Anxiety. Anybody out there with anxiety understands. It's like sometimes it's hard. Like,
what was it? You said to me like, okay, yeah, because we met at that MomoCon thing and we had a good talk, and I was like, okay, yeah, I'll talk to you. And then like it was a pretty good conversation. Then Anime Expo was pretty much just us talking. So like I don't know, we had pretty good conversations there and back. And so like when we built up like a friendship of talking, where we had good conversations the entire time. So I was like, okay, yeah, I don't mind. And then like I don't know, it was one of those weird sappy things. It was just like, I miss Katy, and she was like, I miss Jordan. And we like randomly messaged each other, and like I miss talking to you. Like that was what happened.
Yeah.
Like, what happened was he sent me a message saying, I miss you, Jordan. And I was like, and then like I think like a couple weeks later, I was like, Katy, I miss talking to you about something. Like, oh yeah, whatever. And then we kept doing it back and forth.
Yeah.
And she finally was like, yeah, you want to do a podcast? Like, so we can talk to each other more often. And then it was like, oh yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, like because one of my main motivations was I wanted to talk to Jordan more. I wanted to do a thing that let me talk to my friend more that we would also have fun doing.
And so that's like, great. That's we teach classes at the podcast studio that I opened up in New Jersey.
Yes, go check it out if you're in New Jersey.
And part of the classes, we're like, well, why would I do this? Why do you like doing this? And it's like, for me, with my co-hosts, it may be the only chance I see them once. I get to see them once a week.
Yeah,
it's probably the only time we see them during that week. We get to catch up. It's kind of a cool thing.
Yeah,
kind of a built-in
honestly,
time to hang with your friends. Yeah.
Yeah. When I think about like the idea of taking risks, especially like because podcasts, they don't necessarily have to be a risk if you don't put too much investment in it. But like one quote, it's kind of a quote. I'm kind of going to butcher it, but that I heard recently, just about like life.
Okay.
Is essentially there are like two types of risks.
Yes.
There are the ones that you go into and you kind of know like that it's not a big risk for you. Like you kind of know you have some ground there.
Okay.
And so you willingly go into it knowing that it's probably going to be okay. And then there's the type of risk that scare you.
Yes.
The ones that can really potentially take you further, or it's just you don't necessarily have that definite. I mean, not that anything's ever definite.
No.
But it's definitely more of a risky risk, I guess.
Sure.
And
it could work out.
Yeah.
It might not work out.
Yeah, like there's a higher chance that it won't work out. And those are the risks that are more terrifying to take. Because in life, we always are having to make choices to do things that could potentially go wrong. But generally, if you keep your wits about you, you're able to put yourself in positions where you take risks that feel safer.
Yeah,
and I've definitely in my life been very fortunate to find opportunities that I felt like I could go for.
Right.
But
like,
there have been situations where I have been scared of a no and I've gotten it.
Get used to that too.
Yes, I'm definitely getting used to it, especially
get used
like
to that too, for sure.
With voice acting. Like I sent in so many auditions that they either won't message me back or they'll be like, we're going a different direction, or they'll just like
welcome to the world of any acting,
definitely.
Much less voice acting. So.
And like then there's the fear of like, if I reach out for sponsors, them saying no or this or that. But the worst
you're going to get that too.
Oh, definitely.
But man, does it feel good when they're like, yeah, we believe in you.
But
we want to hear.
That's the thing about.
Here's some money. Can we send you some free stuff too? Can you do giveaways? Like, yeah.
Yes. Yeah. But if you truly put yourself out there and like you try your hardest, even if it fails some of the time, the 10th time out of the. Or 9 out of 10 times if it fails, that one time it goes somewhere,
good,
it feels great, and like you can bounce off of that, like
for sure.
Yeah, and so that's something I've been trying to learn a lot more lately, is to take more of those risks that feel scary.
Yeah,
because I've definitely in my life taken risks, but not the ones that make me feel like I'm walking off a cliff necessarily. Although I've definitely done some interesting things in my life that I'm very fortunate to have been able to do and met awesome people, and it's just because I keep walking forward and I just keep letting myself be vulnerable and just like, what could happen? I want to see.
And here you are podcasting in an alcove at a restaurant at the Embassy Suites in Huntsville, Alabama.
Yeah, and that's the thing about, I guess, life.
What inspired you to start because that's even starting is a big step.
Starting
the podcast.
Oh yeah, I kind of mentioned.
Were you a fan of podcasts before you started?
Definitely.
Okay.
I was listening to podcasts, Dungeons and Dragons podcast specifically.
Okay.
The Unexpectables is one of my favorites. And then Dear Hank and John is a comedy advice podcast that I love by the Vlog Brothers on YouTube.
Yeah.
And I've listened to every single episode of theirs. And it made me so happy each week listening to it, just the advice they would give. And I wanted to do something that made me feel the way that podcast made me feel.
Right.
And having somebody with me that also gives me those feelings. Like whenever I talk to Jordan, I always he always makes me feel better if something's going on. Or, like he just gets it.
Take her brain and make her laugh.
Yes, he does do all of the laugh breaking.
Yeah, that's why I love this medium. It's one where you can listen, you can become a fan of what's out there and listen to them, but you can also be on their same level by creating as well.
Yes.
Whereas I used to watch a lot of sitcoms and TV shows. Like, well, I can never make a TV show. Not at least not by myself, or me and my friend probably couldn't make a TV show.
Yeah.
I listen to a lot of radio, like Howard Stern. It's like, well, I don't own a radio station, so how do I start my own radio show? All the barriers have been broken down. You can make your own TV show.
Yeah, exactly.
You can make your own radio show. You can make your own live event.
And you can do it on a budget, too, if you want to.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty. We live in it's a cool time, man.
Yeah.
You better, bow down and, kiss the ground right now, anybody listening to this, because it's a good time we're living in.
Yeah.
You got nothing holding you back, man.
I actually had a question. You mentioned that you've definitely gotten a lot of rejection through your career.
Sure.
How do you deal with that?
You forget about them and you move on like anything else. Yeah,
I've definitely had auditions where I send them in, and the best advice I've ever gotten is you send it in and you keep going.
Yeah.
You forget about it. If they email you back, they email you back. If they don't, there's always another audition. There's always another opportunity. If you keep seeking out skill or advancement. Yeah.
My friend's like, hey, I have this voice acting. There's an audition here. It's like, would you be interested? I'm like, yeah, I'll give it a shot. I'm not a voice actor.
Yeah.
I'm not an actor, and I got put on a reality show. I got to play myself. Mm-hmm. It was awesome because I didn't have to act. But she's like, hey, give it a shot. You never know what'll happen.
Yeah.
So she sent me all the notes and stuff, and I read the lines, and then I didn't see the little part at the end with the YouTube link going, do it like this.
Oh, no.
So I did it. I was all on my own. I had no direction, but I had sent it in already. I was like, oh,
so God. It's there it goes.
This is going to be really, really bad. And she hasn't talked to me since. So
oh, no.
I don't know if that's why.
Yeah, you can never truly tell, and sometimes it's just
I think it was for a somewhat high-profile video game, but I think they probably wanted to establish voice actors in the end.
And that's fair. When it comes to a lot of this stuff, there's so many different avenues to get into certain mediums that sometimes making your own work is the best thing you can do to put yourself out there.
I probably should have watched the YouTube clips going do it like this. Yeah,
for sure.
Could have been in Red Dead 2, man. It wasn't for Red Dead 2.
Oh, no. Yeah. I could have been an insert video game here.
Right, yeah. So, it's tough. It's tough. So, you keep going, man.
We're going to keep trucking.
You got a good voice.
Yeah, I guess got to keep pushing forward. And I know whenever I hear interviews with other voice actors talking about how they get into the industry, it varies from generation, especially because back in the day, how you got into it is different than how you get into it today. And a lot of it was hey, if you just keep doing work, eventually an opportunity will present itself that if you're prepared for it because you kept doing the work, you will get to strike in that time.
Yeah.
And
it's
then
not necessarily true in this medium, this field, so sucks.
Yeah, in podcasting?
No, in voice acting.
Oh, yeah.
Podcasting, you can put out whatever you want.
Yeah, it's you just have to keep doing the work and trying to look for those opportunities. And there is an element of who you know as well. Sungwon Cho was recently, he goes by ProZD Online. Yeah, he goes by ProZD Online if Ming doesn't know him. And he was at Comic-Con and he was giving advice about voice acting. And one thing that he said was there is an element of who you know by building connections through the work that you do. Because people want to know that you're a trustworthy, not flaky actor. And so a lot of things go on recommendation.
Yep.
And so that's something that you have to figure out in terms of soft skills. Yes, you can be an amazing actor, but if you don't know how to work with people, how to be kind, how to be efficient, how to get your stuff in on time and be there 15 minutes early, how to really give that hustle, then sometimes it doesn't matter how amazingly talented you are, as sucky as that can be to hear, there's so many other elements to it, just being good to work with.
For sure. So yeah, go out, network, hang out.
Yeah, exactly.
Go to cons.
For sure.
You never know, man.
Yeah, and of course, building
friends.
the craft first, definitely. Like, be good. So when the opportunities and the people that provide those opportunities come, you can be like, yes, I've done this, this, and this. I train like this, and etc.
Yeah, this is good. This is good practice, right?
Yeah.
Podcasting,
Oh, yeah, totally.
talking into microphone.
Just like anything where you can use your voice. And podcasting is definitely different. Although there are voice actors that host podcasts, and they do like character things. They do all sorts of stories. Like Welcome to Night Vale is another favorite of mine in terms of the podcasting world. Yeah, I've listened to every episode. I saw their live show.
Yeah, they've expanded live shows, merchandise. They have a whole empire, which is cool.
It's amazing. Like, and the fan art that can come out of just this audio, like the rebuilding of like just audio based media, like, because for a while it was just like visual was number one.
Right.
Yeah, but like radio plays and like audio books
this is
are like
way more fun. You don't have to get all dolled up.
Yeah. Like it's definitely coming back. I mean, D&D has always been like around, but podcasting has definitely given it a new spotlight as well.
Yeah, I suck at contouring. Like I admire you. You've got it down, my friend. And
God.
Yeah.
My makeup skills are not like Jessica Negri level. Bless her.
Well, that's Jessica Negri.
Yeah.
I mean,
but I try my darndest.
She has a little more at stake by like having to get.
It's fair. It's fair. The stakes can definitely drive you to be better at stuff. The pressure, the fire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But but fun, man. That's why I do this.
Yeah.
That's why I do this. Yeah. Are you? So you're what? 12 episodes in. This is.
Yeah. This will probably be like either bonus content or
hey,
like
man,
a
bonus it up, man.
Yeah. Bonus episode or something.
Yeah.
Just because it's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jordan's just like in the background on the phone, like,
Are you really in the bathtub?
Wait, are you really in the bathtub, Jordan?
Yeah.
Oh my god. That's amazing. I halfway believe you, and I'm halfway like he's messing
Was that
with
like
us.
a splashing sound?
Oh my god. Splash for us, Jordan.
What?
Splash.
For you?
Splash for us.
Yeah. Splash it up.
Live.
Totally. But I just got out though.
Oh,
Dang it.
man. All right, so we'll never really know.
We'll never know.
You didn't hear me like that?
No. I did not. Well, you heard it here first, podcasters.
Yeah.
Jordan has been bathing.
Bathcast, everybody.
Like, if I stay there for an hour,
He's all pruny. He's like.
That's
he looks
amazing. Like once again, guys, you can podcast anywhere.
You literally can. You literally can like.
but not in a bathtub. That's dangerous. Don't do it.
Yeah, maybe don't do that. Don't do as we do. Do as we say.
Would you get electrocuted if you dropped the mic in the bathtub?
These are questions I don't want to find out the answer to.
I don't know what the power output is required to run a microphone is, and as such, You know what? Let's not find that out.
Yeah, maybe let's not find out by example. Let's find out by not doing it and just hope.
Yeah, just watch Pride and Chucky and you'll learn.
Oh God, yeah. Jordan watches a lot of like horror films and stuff.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. I'm not into the horror medium as much, but I respect it.
Right, for sure.
Yeah, you're right. Like I did work on a film that was horror that was on Netflix. Actually, I did props on it.
Which give it a plug, man.
Oh, it was called Truth or Dare. It was really cool. It was filmed in Bessemer, Alabama, in a haunted house, actually, which was really cool. Right by train tracks, though, which was terrible because the train would go by.
Oh, it was an active train track.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh my God. So we'd have to stop.
Right.
But it was a really cool experience. But it was like interesting because I'm usually not a fan of horror movies, but being behind the scenes gives you a different perspective for sure. Like seeing the actors and like all of the blood and like there were scenes where they were cutting off their limbs, but I was there. I was providing the tools that they cut with.
Yeah, you were mixing the fake blood and making sure it didn't congeal too much.
Yeah, and I created fake vomit out of bananas and water. Like we mush it up.
Oh, that's okay.
Yeah. There's a little
is that how
secret.
It's done? Bananas and water. Okay,
bananas and water because it when you mush up the bananas, it makes like a brown color.
Okay, and it
which
looks
is
like
really good for vomit.
Okay,
but it tastes great.
Okay,
so yep, good old
so good.
Vomit. And then of course we would Greek all that when we had to film at a gas station. Greeking all of like. We would mostly turn them around.
Oh, the labels,
means we would cover up the labels.
Yeah.
So we had stickers on stickers for the cars.
Right.
We had fake license plates. That was all on us. It was an experience.
Well, you don't want to get sued, so we're an extremely litigious society now, and it stinks for independent filmmaking.
Yeah, it's like it's difficult if you want to be somewhere that has a lot of like logos.
Right.
Like a gas station, there was
Oh.
like a robbery scene, so
Sure.
we were just like, we gotta be careful here.
Yeah, we had to
Yeah.
worry about that on Comic Book Men too.
Yeah.
If you look in the background of our show, you'll notice it's all DC. There's no Marvel back there. And people are like, "What's up with that?" Marvel did not consent to using their properties in the background. DC had no problem with it,
Yeah.
so they were cool with it. DC's a little more controlling,
Yeah.
and we couldn't go back to them and be like,
Yeah.
well, "Come on, man! Like, we're gonna blow you guys up, man!
I
Like, people are gonna know the
know.
word Marvel like the world over."
I know.
We didn't, yeah. So, but
Yeah.
but when people brought in Marvel stuff, like it was a whole thing. Like we talked about it.
Yeah.
It was fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a whole.
Okay.
It's a whole thing legally.
Yes.
Then we could show their stuff. But
Yeah.
yeah. But in the background, yeah, it's all Batman, Green Lantern.
Yeah.
Teen Titans.
Yes.
Wonder Woman.
Oh,
yeah,
man.
it was all DC stuff in the
Yeah,
background.
and I heard that you guys had Stan Lee on 2 of your episodes.
Came in twice.
That's amazing.
Came in twice. Stan the Man Lee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Very lucky.
yeah. Like,
And-
these guys had 7 seasons of a show.
It went quick. I was
Yeah.
like, man. Yeah, we just. I was like, man, can we keep going?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, that sucks that it had to come to an end, as all good things sadly must someday.
Right,
But,
we never
yeah.
even got our final Seinfeld episode,
Oh,
you know,
no.
or our the big finale.
BronyCon, didn't you?
What's that?
Oh, he asked if you went to BronyCon.
We did go to BronyCon.
Oh
yeah,
my
I was like,
gosh.
Oh
he's
my
a-
God, my friend Saber Spark and AC Racefest were on the thing when you guys went on stage.
yeah, we did.
were
We
there.
were in the cosplay contest.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yes! Oh my God! Because Saber and Racer on the TV when it happened, and we kept walking by you guys.
Yeah.
Walking by that.
Oh, it's a small world. Whoa, guys. It's
Yeah,
such a
this
small
is some
world.
Inception there. If you watch BronyCon episode, I think it was season 4. I want to say.
Oh, my gosh.
3 or 4 went to BronyCon, which is in Baltimore, Maryland, every summer, and it was an interesting experience. I've been to all types of cons, my friend. BronyCon is definitely unique. Very much the same philosophy. There are vendors, there are cosplay contests,
Yes.
but friendship is magic. So I don't
Yes.
know we didn't stick around to do the after hours stuff.
Yeah.
So I don't know what goes on there.
yeah.
But
Jordan's like, you missed the good stuff.
yeah, but I was looking around. And I was like, a convention where people are dressed up in funny costumes and
Yeah.
everyone likes the same thing. Like, where have I heard this before?
Yeah,
it's really not
exactly.
no different than like a Comic-Con.
Yes, for sure. Like, how many cons have you been to in your day?
Like total?
I guess, yeah. Can you think of a number?
I mean, it's got to be close to 150 at this point.
Wow.
I started going seriously in 2014. So,
Yes.
geez, that's about 5 years ago.
Yeah.
And then, I saw how much fun they were.
Yes.
So I really love traveling and exploring cities. And and I was like, wow, I really love this. I want to go every
Yeah.
weekend. So I started ramping it up. And probably like last year, 2018, 2017, I probably went to close to 30 shows, either as a guest or occasionally I would go just as an attendee.
Yeah,
just,
yeah.
like Dragon Con.
Yes.
I'm just there to have
oh my
fun.
gosh. Do you ever dress up?
I have not. I've not cosplay.
How
no,
dare.
that's not
Oh,
true.
okay, okay.
Not this year. Last year, my friends wanted to do a group Gilmore Girls cosplay.
Oh my god.
And all right, so we had Rory and
Yeah.
we had the Sean Gunn character.
Yeah.
Kirk and we
Yeah.
had all those guys. They were like, "Hey, we need Elaine, the Asian girl." I'm like,
Yeah.
"I'll do it. I'm Asian. Like, just do you have a
Yeah.
So I think I bought a wig or somebody grabbed a wig for me and we cut
Yeah.
it and I put on some glasses. It was not great.
Yeah.
I probably should have worn a dress or something, but yeah. It wasn't great. It did the job.
Yeah, for
So-
sure.
So I can't say that I haven't cosplayed at Dragon Con.
Oh my
but
god.
yeah, we had a whole Gilmore Girls
That's amazing.
thing going on. It was fun.
Yeah.
It was fun.
Are there any podcasts that you actually listen to? Like, because I know you said that you had been into podcasting a little bit. I didn't know if you have a recommendation list. Like, what are
Oh,
some of your
man.
favorites?
I mean, mine are pretty.
Pretty standard, like money podcasts. Do you listen to stories?
Not that boring. I love. I mean, of course, I'm a fan of This American Life. I think I love that podcast because usually they have about 3 produced
Yeah.
stories per episode, and they spend 2 to 3 months on each of those stories. They
Yeah.
spend a ton of money flying around the country getting interviews, and I mean. I would love to do something like that one day where I
Yeah.
interview people and then cut it together and make it a whole produced segment.
Yeah.
But I don't have the budget or the time for that. That's why I love
Yeah.
conversational podcasts.
Yes,
We
yes.
talk, we're going to go probably close to an hour.
Yeah,
and then we
yeah.
can just put it up. I love there's a podcast called the Super Skull Podcast that's run by one of my favorite comic book stores in Ann Arbor, Michigan.
Yeah,
they're very, very knowledgeable about comic books.
Yeah,
I love Chris Hardwick's interviewing style.
Okay,
where it's just like this, it's casual, but
Yeah.
he's got like superstars on there.
Yes,
he gets
like people from all walks of life, like in entertainment. And
for
whatever.
sure.
Yeah.
So I think it's not called the Nerdist anymore. It's called the ID10T.
Oh, okay.
AKA Idiot.
Yeah.
And then from our own network, the podcast that we've helped launch, there are two that I really love. One is called American Loser.
Okay.
And, most people focus on the winners in American history, a.k.a. The George Washingtons, the Abraham Lincolns, the Ben Franklins.
Yeah.
He focuses on the people that weren't so blessed.
Oh, interesting.
The Aaron
so it's
Burrs,
like a historical podcast.
But the losers, Aaron Burr.
Yeah.
Not Alexander Hamilton, but Benedict Arnold.
Interesting.
The guy who invented the Hindenburg.
Yeah.
All the losers in history. And I think it's a great podcast. We just had one start up. Two guys who just recently retired. They're called the Retired Guys, Elmer and Rich.
Oh, man.
And they came in the other day to record an episode. Like, hey, we're going to do this thing called we're going to do a bourbon kind of like March Madness. Like, we're going to put new brackets and we're going to taste bourbons and whittle it down to one final winner.
Yes.
I'm like, great. Like, right now? They're like, yeah, it was 10 a.m. They brought bourbon. Like, hey, man, you want some? I'm like, you guys are my clients.
Yeah.
Sure,
yeah. It's
so
like,
I was drinking with them, they were podcasting, and I was like, oh, I haven't eaten anything today. This is going to be really bad. So I was a little tipsy at 10 a.m. the other day. That was cool. There's a podcast out there called I Was There Too.
Okay.
And it's about the film. He'll go through like movies, but this guy Matt Corley will interview like the guy who did like the lighting on Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
Or one of the extras in Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yes.
And
yeah.
It's like, well, what was it really like? We've heard the mumbo jumbo from the actors and how great it was to work with each other and how much they prepared for the role.
Of course, yeah.
You were on set. Like, what was it really like? Tell us a real story.
Tell us like the not lit up stuff.
Right. Was James Gunn cool or was his real directing
so
style?
they're spilling tea.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, did anyone flip out? Like any of that? Yeah, which I think is pretty funny.
Yeah,
so
man, you listen to a lot of podcasts.
I try to. Like, I travel a lot.
Yeah, for
it's great
sure.
for traveling.
So there's lots of time to. I was actually wondering, Jordan, do you have any podcasts that like you listen to? Have you like listened to a lot of them since we started or before?
Oh, gosh. Oh yeah, I listen to a bunch of podcasts. Like one of my favorites is Double Toasted from like Corey Coleman and Martin Thomas on like Texas. They like been doing it since Spill.com back in the day, and The Real Deal back in the day they used to. And I just been following them for like years now. Since I was like 16, I've been following them, so it's like been a long time. And then also I listen to this podcast on Rooster Teeth by Barbara Dunkelman called Always Open.
Yes.
It's a podcast. It's like an advice podcast, relationships, and they
That's
talk
cool.
about sexual stuff too. But then they also they talk about all this like really interesting stuff, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's really cool to hear their perspective. And then like Barbara actually reminds me a lot of Katy, or they remind me of each other. So that's why I always tell Katy, you should definitely listen to like Always Open.
Yeah, I need to get into it.
Always Open.
Mm-hmm.
Love it.
Yeah, the personality is really similar. And then sometimes I listen to like Joe Rogan's podcast every now and then.
Yeah, Rogan's a great podcaster.
Yeah, so I listen to like quite a few, just like because again I like to like walk a lot. And
yes.
It's, like good to listen to the walk.
Oh yeah,
and stuff
Jordan
like that.
does a lot of fitnessy things. So
I heard he's very known.
Yeah.
He's known as being very fit. I heard.
He is the fittest mister. The Fister Mister. Wait, that's a different word.
Yeah, what podcast is that?
Oh no.
Is that one of his other three podcasts?
This is our Not Safe for Work podcast.
Is that one of your other three podcasts?
Yes, that's one of his other three, the Fister.
Yeah, the Fister podcast. Like,
oh no.
Oh boy.
Okay, I'll pitch it.
Oh boy.
I'll pitch it. We'll see where it goes.
Yeah, for sure.
It'll be great.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can learn a lot about a person by what podcast they listen to. There's so many genres. Like, one thing that I've wanted to try to listen to, but I'm not sure if I'd be into it, is like, I hear there's like a money podcast, like a bunch of that genre where you just listen to people talk about like finances.
Making money.
And it's like, I bet it could be kind of boring, but I feel like there might be some that are, I don't know, interesting maybe?
I have
I don't know
feelings like,
much
well, how
about
do you get more money? Like, stop buying so much garbage.
Yeah, I guess that's fair.
Yeah.
Or yeah.
Stop buying Game of Thrones dragon eggs. Stop buying House Stark flags. Stop buying
for sure.
custom Lego figures.
Or it could just be about general budgeting, maybe, like just
Right,
like that
which
kind of stuff
leads
too.
back to stop buying so much
That's
crap at
fair.
conventions.
Like maybe, yeah. That can,
Yeah.
like cutting down on like.
Don't need that Wolverine statue. Oh,
yeah.
but I do.
At the same time, it's okay to every now and then, like if you're putting money aside, like if you've got your main finances done,
Right.
like to indulge yourself, because people at the con spend the money to get all the pictures with celebrities
Sure.
and to have a good time, because cons are just about having a place that you can go to get rid of some of that stress and find people that love what you love. But as long as you're handling your personal stuff first,
Right.
Oh
Yeah.
God, we're turning into a money
I know,
podcast.
we are.
Oh no.
We're abort.
Abort mission.
abort.
Oh man.
I
Yeah.
now that you're 12 episodes in, have you come up? I was like, oh man, we should do another podcast on
Oh, no.
X. Have you come up with? Have you been inspired to maybe start a podcast on a different genre or
God.
subject?
Well, Jordan already does like 3, right? Like, what do you do again?
Oh yeah, I do I do the POS podcast on with my friends Saber Spark, Haley Esteno, and Hirasashi, who are also YouTubers, and we just talk about various current events and nerd stuff, and we answer questions at the end. We go over I want to say 5 or 10 current events and stuff like that, and it's pretty fun to do. Our dynamic is a bit different than me and Katy, because when me and Katy talk, it's typically we're bouncing off each other. I throw a joke out, she throw a joke back, and it's just constant. There's no dead air. But with that one, it's a bit more the other people are a bit more introverted unless we're all on topic.
Okay, I hear you.
The loud mouth of it.
And me and Jordan are both loud mouths.
Yes.
Yeah, we both are.
Well,
we don't know when to shut up. We
Hey, man.
sound like birds. Kids all birds been in space.
Yep. Yeah, you do the POS, and then you do the tunes, the Tune Clash.
Yeah, Toon Clash.
Yeah.
The Toon Clash.
It's about animation?
Because all of us are animation buffs.
Nice.
So all of us know a lot of nostalgic animation from 90s. So we're doing this series called Toon Clash, where we look at the best Cartoon Network shows of all time, so the best original programming, and we make them. We talk about each show. We put them in this tournament bracket, and we make them verse each other, and we say okay, this show is better than this show.
Right.
And then we keep doing that, and we go down the bracket.
Wow.
Yeah, it's really interesting.
That's cool.
Concept. Yeah, but I guess to answer your question, because he already does a bunch, so I
Sure.
don't think he's wanting to take on another one. But I have thought about one thing I'd love to try one day, if I could ever find the right people. Again, that's what it's about.
It's very important.
I'd love to do a D&D one.
Oh, dude,
because I
should.
love Dungeons and Dragons. I
Right.
love listening to them.
Right.
I would love
and you
to
know the whole format.
Yeah,
and,
I'd love to
yeah.
perform with maybe 3 or 4 people, have a good DM, and I would love to do that. But I don't think I'm in a place right now with people that do that.
Yeah,
to
but
do,
you
to do
have
that.
all the resources
Yeah.
now.
You would? Oh God! But then you'd be on 4 podcasts.
I know. Can you do that remote? Is it?
You can hear me
my
get
God.
mad, why can't I do this, Katy? No,
Oh my
no,
God.
no, we'll fuck this thing.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah,
Knock the
because
table over.
it's something I would love to try one day, but I don't think I'll be doing it anytime soon. But it's on my list of things that I'd love to do, or to edit for one.
Can you
any
do
part
that
of it.
remotely at D&D?
Oh yeah,
I guess you could
honestly,
roll
the
for other
Unexpectables
person,
that I
or-
listen to,
yeah.
they use a thing called Roll20.
Right.
I think it's a site where they can roll the die.
Oh, okay,
and
so
they're
you can-
all
that's
located
cool.
from Canada
That's
to
crazy.
New York.
God, I
to-
love technology,
Yeah,
man.
it's amazing. Every week they meet and they're on Discord, and then
Yeah.
they do a 1, 2, 3 sync to sync their audio,
Right.
and then they send it all in, and
Okay,
they
and they
have
edit
someone
it
edit
together.
it. Yeah.
That's cool.
It's amazing what you can do with
I
tech.
gotta look into this Discord.
Yeah,
I've never used it, but I know a lot of people use it.
Yes, you can use Discord
God,
not only for
I
communicating with friends.
I feel
but-
so old though.
Oh God,
It's
yeah,
like,
it's
Ming,
the
are you
new
on Discord?
Skype, which I don't know if you ever use Skype.
I use Skype a lot. Yeah.
Yes, yeah, I still have mine, but I upgraded to Discord because everybody was like, "You need
All
add
right.
me on Discord," and I was
I'm gonna,
like, yeah.
I'm gonna open up a Discord account.
Yes.
Add me. Is that how does it work like that?
Yeah,
All right.
I'll totally show you.
Okay.
But
KaniDay. Okay.
yes,
Okay,
yeah. And essentially, another thing you can do on Discord is a lot of big internet people.
Yeah.
They make special channels for fans to be a part of.
Oh, cool. And then
So,
people will hop on there.
Yeah,
and-
yeah, yeah. For Kruby, we have a Discord, and I'm not crazy educated on Discord.
Sure.
I know how to use it for business stuff,
Yeah.
but I don't know how to create stuff with it, but my friends do. Yeah, like making the different channels for like, oh, this is the one where we talk about, I don't know, cats, and this is the one where we talk about podcasts, and this is the general chat, this is the spoiler chat.
I mean, Katie, there's like literally like a plus sign on the left-hand corner. You can just add it.
Huh.
Whatever you want.
I guess I've never tried, to be fair, but
you'll figure it out.
Yeah. But it's something that a lot of people online do. So
That's
it's
cool.
like if they have a Patreon, they can be like, "Hey, at this tier, you can join my private Discord." So so you can be a part of chats.
Patreon, that's a whole nother podcast.
Yeah, it's a
right
whole
there, man.
other situation.
Holy
for
crap.
sure.
Yeah.
Like, but there's so many different ways to interact with fans. Like you were telling me earlier that with Kevin Smith back in the day, you built like a site thing for him.
He just wanted a message board.
Yeah.
Or he wanted a chat room. I'm like, chat room's a pain in the ass. Let's do a message board.
Yeah.
That worked out really well.
Yeah, it's so interesting, like how small things that you do, like without any end in sight, can lead to these different opportunities.
Yeah, and again, that message board looks exactly like Reddit does now. Like it never, nothing really ever changes.
Yeah, for sure. Just like the opportunity of getting to podcast with you.
I know, this is great.
Yeah,
this is great, and it's just so simple. It brought a couple of things, throw it in a bag, bam, podcast. You got gear.
Like it's so crazy how easy it can be. There's so many little processes, but it's like, it's so worth it.
Yeah. So that was a very long answer to you should be doing this if you're listening to this, and hopefully we inspired everybody out there.
Yeah, and I think we might be getting to a good place to maybe start.
I'm just hungry. You want to go get some Korean food?
I'm
Let's
actually getting very hungry. Are you hungry, Jordan? Do you want to come with?
Oh yeah, sure. Let's go.
Okay, yeah, we'll meet you there.
Yeah, Cafe O, Huntsville, Alabama.
Yeah, do it.
All right, yeah. Let's do it.
Dude, thanks for hanging, man. Like, I know it was unexpected. We were just calling you to... I think... Weren't you calling to rub it in?
No, I wasn't calling to rub it in, although I do love to rub it in with Jordan at all the amazing things I'm clearly doing. Because obviously my life is so much more fun than his fitness life. But, no, I was just calling to be like, hey, I'm talking to Ming for maybe some bonus stuff. And he was like, oh, cool. And then we just started filming, and it was like, you're with us now, Jordan. You're trapped.
Yep. Can't leave now.
Oh, man. But yeah, thank you guys so much for listening to our Comedy Weebs Workouts and Advice podcast, and with our special guest Ming and our Jordan here co-host that
Weird Flex
on the phone.
Dude, come on. You're talking to the guy who I love this so much.
It's so fun. And yeah, if you guys want to send us a message, if you want to send us a question or just say, hey, I like what you do, you can email us at weirdflexbutokaypodcast@gmail.com. You can also find us on Twitter at weirdflexbutokaypodcast. Ming, where can they find you, and what are you working on right now?
Very easy to find. My Ming Chen, MINGCHEN 37 on Twitter and Instagram. Facebook, search Ming Chen Comic Book Men. I am building this podcast studio up until we dominate and take over the whole world. It is called A Shared Universe Podcast Studio. Go to ashareduniverse.com. If you do watch Comic Book Man and you have aspirations of visiting the store one day, yes, the store really exists. It's a working comic book store.
Yes.
We are there. If you go Monday through Saturday, you're guaranteed to see at least one of us there.
Yes.
But the studio is located about 10 minutes from the store.
Oh, man.
So if you're like, hey, man, I want to see the store from Comic Book Man, come down and podcast, man. I will podcast with you. If you already have a podcast, I will be a guest on your podcast.
That's awesome.
You just got to record it at our studio and pay a very low hourly rate. It's ridiculously low.
Yeah.
Because we want everyone to come in. And then to book, just go to ashareduniverse.com.
Yeah.
And I remember that name, man, because we're going to open one of these in every major city. So hopefully Birmingham.
Yeah, that would be great.
Hopefully, Baltimore.
If you need somebody to help work your studio.
Yeah, you know what you're doing. So, and you've been bitten by the podcasting bug. You would be.
It's true.
You would be perfect.
Be addicted.
You would be perfect. A little engineering, little moral support.
Yeah.
Yeah, the people who work with us. Yeah, it's an all-in-one kind of job.
So
where,
definitely
you do
look
a lot
out
of
for
stuff.
that.
So yeah, for sure.
Yes.
Cool.
And Jordan, where can they find you?
You can find me at YouTube at Jaxblade. You can find me on Twitter at Jaxblade Fitness. You can find me on Instagram, Jaxblade. Everywhere, Jaxblade. Just Jax.
Do it.
Blade, and that's We'll see. That's how we do it. That's where you can find me anywhere. And yeah, that's where you can find me.
Yay! And you can find me at KaniDay, KaniDay official on Twitter and Instagram. You can also find me on YouTube at KaniDay, where I've recently uploaded just a little song cover because it's fun. And I also have a Facebook page. And you can also find me on Dr. Crafty and Kruby Productions on YouTube. Definitely look us up. And you can also find me at a bunch of cons in the South. Come to them. MomoCon. Jordan's going to be there. I'm going to be there. Ming probably won't be there. But
whoa. When is it?
MomoCon, it's in May.
Is it like Memorial Day weekend?
I believe so. Is it, Jordan?
Hold on, let me look at the calendar.
Okay.
Yeah, it might be.
It usually traditionally is, I believe.
Yeah. They had so many amazing guests this year. Okay, the 20...
That's
okay.
Memorial Day weekend, yeah. Huh. All right. Well, you never know.
Yeah,
we put it out in the world, though. I would love to be at MomoCon.
Put it out into the universe. Yeah, it's an amazing con. Jordan's actually a guest there, too.
All right.
Which is crazy awesome.
Yeah, I'm like, dude, I'll moderate Jordan's panel, man.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah, he's got... Yeah, it's super fun con. And
can you guys angle for like the podcast to?
Oh, we're trying to get a panel actually, but we're not sure if that'll happen. No spoilers,
again,
I guess.
Put it out in the world.
We're putting it out.
Cool.
I'm 90% sure that it went through because they said like, "Oh, you're a guest. We're gonna like."
Yeah.
Okay.
So I guess spoilers, listeners, we might have a podcast panel at MomoCon, but it's not confirmed, so we can't put that out there yet. But
let's just say yes.
But we want it.
Come to the Weird Flex But Okay podcast panel at MomoCon, everybody. Yeah.
Oh no.
Oh, your mom's calling you. All right. I guess this is a good time to.
Yeah, this seems like a good time to wrap it up. I think my mom is trying to call me.
All right.
Oh no. Well, I will talk to you later, Jordan. I'm sorry. Bye, Jordan. I love you. I miss you.
Thank you guys so much.
Yeah. Bye, everybody, for listening. Momentai and stuff. Yes.
You too. You better answer that.
All right. Woo. Okay. Answering. Hello?